I'm Peter with Pro-Life Unity and ProLifeNews.tv, and I'm here with Jenny Hodges, our National Director with Pro-Life Unity. Welcome to Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
We're in front of the 16th Street abortion mill, and this location is one of the sort of hotbed locations of this area. We have folks from Christendom who drive into town. It's quite the drive, over an hour, for them to come here, and all they do is pray. And what do you think about this kind of thing where people, driving so far and they've come to pray, and what are they praying for, and why are you involved in the first place?
Why am I involved in the first place? Well, I'm here to just see what's going on in front of this Planned Parenthood, but I think it's important to be a praying presence. I think it singes people's consciences. I definitely am noticing so much hostility from the escorts, even in talking about just regular everyday things and interacting. Supposedly we're all here to help the women, and so I don't understand the reason for the hostility. So I think having the praying presence really affects people's consciences. And it makes a statement that this isn't like, I asked one of the escorts here this morning, I said, so have you ever had an abortion? And she goes, that's an extremely private question for you to ask me. I said, really? What if I asked you if you've ever had your tonsils out? Would you feel like that was really private? And I think having the praying presence really magnifies what we all know to be true, and that this isn't a blob of tissue. This isn't just a typical medical procedure, that there are people and children dying this morning, and that the escorts are facilitating that death and not loving the women in terms of wanting to encourage them to find help. It's kind of like when you have a drug addict. It isn't loving to hand a drug addict more drugs. It's loving to get them out of that. And it isn't loving to hand a woman in crisis the opportunity and the ease to which to murder her child. It's going to have a lasting scarring effect. The spiritual damage of ripping a living being out of a woman is something. You have ruined her life. She will never have the same life, never have the same existence. And that's what in effect is happening here. And to love a woman is to enable her and empower her to come into her own in terms of being able to produce life and life grow within her, and to set up adoptions or reach her in a way that she can be empowered to keep her child. And so I think what you have here is you have termed necessary evil a way to get out of helping somebody in desperate need.
Yeah, and so when you see these folks here from Christendom and they drive so long and they've come here to pray, we can kind of, from what you said, those are a lot of powerful words. I mean, the women are in need. They need help more than what they're going into this Planned Parenthood facility for.
That's right.
Are there alternatives? A lot of people say that, pro-life people, all we do is say to the women, don't have abortions. Are there alternatives?
Well, I think one of the things that abortion ensures is that we don't find solutions for the social factors that are causing crisis pregnancies to begin with. So it creates an environment where we don't have to deal with the real issues. Politicians don't have to deal with the real issues. Pastors, Christians don't have to deal with the real issues, to the extent that if 4,000 children a day were being born live, we would need a way to take care of them. And I don't think that we are looking forward enough in terms of rehabilitating the sector of society, the section of society that is most vulnerable to the Holocaust of abortion.
So it's a bigger problem than just the unwanted pregnancies.
That's right. We are at the last stand. We lost the battle way before the woman coming in front of the abortion mill. You have got to figure out what are the social factors within that area and start aggressively dealing with that. But I think, like with the Christendom people, the fact that they drive hours should really convict all of us that live right here and work right here. And how easy would it be for us, before we go to work in the morning, to spend an hour or two in front of here talking to these girls, but on a much broader section, or a much broader thinking, how can we change the social factors that are causing abortion?
And as far as the people coming out here, spending the time out here for hours, does that make any difference?
I think it makes a huge difference. First of all, there's so much demonic activity within an abortion mill. You can really feel it, even from the escorts, their hostility. And I've read a lot of testimonies from abortion clinic workers where they'll say when there was a praying presence outside, the tension inside the mill was so much greater. And I think it's a powerful statement to everybody around. Everyone who walks past here has to recognize this is an abortion facility, and they have to have a sense of guilt with seeing the people praying and the fact that they're not doing anything about the Holocaust and about the children murdered here.
And let's say, people hear what you say and they say, wow, you might have a point there. How do they find out more about this? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, I would encourage anyone who has not gotten involved in activism on any level to start getting involved with 40 Days for Life.